Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of grade 9. Again, we meet to continue the new Hello units, and today we're dealing with Unit 3. Unit 3, My Community. From the title of the unit, we can expect that we are going to find out things about the community, especially the main problems that our community faces, and how can government as well as people solve these problems. So let's find out here. The first thing that we used to do concerning the vocabulary of the new Hello is to introduce as many vocabulary as we can. I'm reminding you again that the vocabulary of the units is mainly based on the part of a speech. I mean, if this word is a noun, a verb, a subject, an adverb, if we have a prepositional phrase, if we have an adverb of time, an adverb of frequency, and such stuff. Also, we're dealing with prefixes and suffixes. Again, the prefixes are like a part of a word that we add at the beginning of the word to change its meaning. The same happens with the suffix. Examples like we had before in Unit 1 and maybe Unit 2, like when we have peace as a noun, we transform it into an adjective by adding full. So we say peaceful, and then transform that into an adverb of manner by saying peacefully. So let's continue and introduce the vocabulary of Unit 3. The first is an expression which make a difference in with that preposition. So it means to have a good effect or impact or influence on someone or something or even a group of people, like positively influence them. So if you say that most of Magdi Yaqub's work made a great difference in the healthcare field in Egypt. So it means that Magdi Yaqub's work concerning healthcare affected in a good way in the healthcare field. Now, neighborhood, and here is the word that we can see that we have a suffix here, which is hood, added to the word neighbor that we had before in Unit 2 to change its meaning. So we have here an area of a town and the people who live in there. So if I asked you about your neighborhood, I'm not asking you only about the neighbors, but also the area that or where you live. So that's the neighborhood. Another word that has the same structure is like childhood, okay? Manhood. Okay, so neighborhood, childhood, manhood are the same. We have the noun and then we add hood to change the meaning or the part of a speech of the word. Now, encourage, that's a verb that everyone knows its meaning. When we add the suffix meant, we turn it from a verb into a noun to make people do something by giving support and advice. The same thing that most teachers do for you to participate during the session. Now, surprised, and the original is surprise as a verb. Surprised, it can be both a past form of surprise and it can also be an adjective. Here we're dealing it with an adjective. What you feel when you don't expect something strange or unusual to happen. So it's like when you say that the students were surprised when the teacher came into the class in a weird color of the uniform. So maybe it was one of the phosphoric colors that nobody likes to see. We also have the word leisure, which is a noun, and that is the time when one is not working or busy doing something. So leisure, it's equal to your free time, the time that you can do nothing. You can do whatever you like, but you don't have to do something specifically, like doing homework, writing essays or reports, maybe sending emails. You have no job to do, no specific job to do. So that's your leisure, that's your free time. Now, community, a group of people living in the same place or having a particular characteristics. And now we can differentiate between the word community and society. Community, yes, it's a small group of people living in the same place. But if we talk about the word society, it has a larger a picture or a larger idea. So we say the Egyptian society, not the Egyptian community, but we can say that people in the Upper Egypt community, so this is about a group of people who live in a small place. Facilities. Now, facilities is a place or a building provided for a particular purpose. Consider we live in Minya. What are the most important facilities that can be found in any city? Hospitals, okay, schools, restaurants, maybe shopping malls. These are the most important healthcare centers, clinics, stuff like that. So these are the buildings that people build, or maybe the government build, in order to facilitate life to people. So can we have some facilities in the same building? Yes. If you are inside a university, inside that university you can find a restaurant, a fast food shop, maybe you can find a stationery for the students to buy some notebooks, copybooks, pens, pencils, stuff like that. And so you can find a masjid inside the university. So those are all the facilities, like buildings that makes life easier than it was without them. So these buildings are made to facilitate, to make life easy for people. Now, transport, which is a verb and a noun. As a verb, when I say transporting people from one place to another, it means taking people or goods even from one place to another by means of a vehicle, maybe a ship, maybe a small boat. It could be a plane if things are coming for someone who is stupidly important or something. But as a noun, it's a system or means of conveying people or goods from one place to another. So that's the difference when we try to translate that in Arabic. We transport like yanqul, and transport like transportation. Okay, so it's the process of transporting people from one place, or even goods, as I said, from one place into another. Now, the opportunities. This, of course, is a plural form of the word opportunity, and opportunity means like a chance that you have. So it's a chance for something expected to be better, like a job. For example, you are working as a sales assistant, and the manager is giving you, or maybe your boss, let's not say the manager, is giving you a chance to be the head of the staff right there. So in this case you say, I have a better opportunity for a better position at work. So opportunity like a chance. Now the leaflet. A leaflet, maybe most of us hold that thing, but we don't know what we call it. A leaflet is like a printed paper containing information or advertising, and usually distributed for free. If there is going to be a restaurant in your neighborhood to open soon, of course they have to advertise about that, or advertise that shop or that restaurant. So all they have to do is to print some papers for the people in the neighborhood in order to get to know where is it, what phone number. Maybe they have a Facebook account to contact with people. Maybe they have a WhatsApp account also to give orders and receive them, stuff like that. So that is what a leaflet is. So it's a printed paper. The main purpose of that paper, it could be in black and white paper, or it can be like colored one, like one with so many photos, with the delicious food, if we're talking about a restaurant, in order to attract people just to pay that restaurant a visit or two a week. or maybe a month. So it's done, the main purpose of these leaflets is to advertise something and encourage people to do a specific activity, whether visiting a place in a country or maybe one of the facilities inside one place or one city. Now historic and historical, and let's find out about the obstacle between these words concerning understanding. Both of them, as a matter of fact, are adjectives, but each one of them is used for specific meaning. Let's look at historic. We said that both are adjective. Historic describes something momentous only or generally important in history. For example, if we are talking about the pyramids of Egypt, we say that the pyramids of Egypt, or the pyramid as an area, is a historic place for tourists to come and visit. So that's concerning historic. It's also it talks only about like buildings or places or areas that is very much connected to history, while historical describes something that belongs to an earlier period of history. So if you are watching a movie or reading a book, and that movie or that book talks about a specific character from the history, like for example, let's say Muhammad Ali as a king, or Tutankhamun as a pharaoh. This way you say this is a historical movie. So the issue about the movie concerns things in the history, but the movie is not that old to say that it's a historic movie. So historic is a little bit refers to being old, being very old, connecting or connected to history. That's the difference, right? Now repair as a verb. Repair means to fix or restore something damaged or worn to a good condition. So it's very close to the word fix. Okay, maybe mend a little bit, but each one of them is used in a different way. So repair is very, very close to fix. What if I try to think about an adjective of repair? Repair, that's the verb, and the adjective is going to have some change in the spelling. We're going to have R-E-P-A-R-A-B-L-E. So we're not going to have I concerning the adjective repairable. And repairable means that it can be repaired, or someone has the ability to repair it. Of course, the antonym of repairable is irreparable. So it's the same like responsible and responsible. This is a prefix added before the word, especially the adjective that starts with an R, in order to give the antonym or the opposite of it. It's the same like rational, irrational, regular, irregular, responsible, irresponsible, and so on. Now, most dominant definition is still with that. We've got the verb donate. Donate, the noun of donate is donation, and pay attention that we may have a donor or a donator. So both are correct. If we are talking about the person who donates his blood, for example, to blood banks, in this case, he's going to be a donor or a donator. So right here, it means to give money or goods or even blood, okay, for a good cause like charity. So I don't know names of very famous donors concerning money and charity, but I think Mo Salah is one of them, because as a matter of fact, it's very well known that he gives a lot of money to people in order to build facilities like hospitals, like clubs, maybe stuff like that. So I think he's one of the best donators or donors all over Egypt. That's what I heard. Maybe you have other names, but I'm not sure about them. Now, graffiti. We know that some parts in town are a little bit neglected. Some parts, not all of them. in this case, we can find that the walls are filled with drawings, with words written and stuff like that. Mostly this is what we call graffiti. So it's a kind of art. Graffiti is a kind of art, but we don't use drawing and writing on the walls for that. Sometimes we use the walls to advertise doctors, teaching, educational centers, maybe like names of constitutions and stuff like that, hairdressers, which is not really effective. So, but if we use that for graffiti, it's going to be good, because graffiti is a kind of art that expresses the culture of the society in this period of time and in this place. So it's writing or drawing, scribbled or even scratched or sprayed, as I said before, illicitly on the walls, or any surface on a public place, but normally walls. You got it? So in my point of view, graffiti is a kind of art, very modern kind of art. Okay? Now, a volunteer. A volunteer, as we know it, is the person who works without asking for money. So he works for free. He's doing something to other people as a kind of help. But here we can see that I'm writing that's a verb as well as a noun. As a verb, it means to offer to do something, or a specific task, or work for an organization, or even maybe for a group of people. It doesn't have to be an organization, without being paid. So can I ask you to volunteer? Here it is a verb, but we can use it as a noun, a person who does the above. What's the above? Doing something or a task or even a work for an organization or a group of people without being paid. Now, voluntary or involuntary, these are the noun and the, I can hear you, the antonym of that noun. So when you say something voluntary or voluntary, both are correct, it means that the work that you do without being paid, which is العمل التطوعي نفسه. That's what I mean. We are very, very close to the vocabulary of, I think, lesson 3, 4, and 5. So I will have to move from here in order to answer this exercise. So I will have to, that part I will just delay it to the next session, because this is a little bit longer unit than before. It has so many topics to talk about, so many issues to discuss. So I will have to delay that to the next session, along with other things we have to do. Now here, the first exercise, it's about completing the sentences with the correct word from the list. And the words are community projects, elderly, facilities, pavements, sports activities. We all know that the word elderly is never an adverb, but it's an adjective. It's better than saying old people or older people. Okay, so it's better to use elderly. It's the same like friendly and lovely. Okay, and bully, they are all adjective, but they have ly just to deceive you, thinking that it could be an adverb. Absolutely not. It's just an adjective and it refers to all people. Now let's find out. Let's read the whole text and then try to put the words where they should be. I live in a great community. There are lots of space for young people, such as volleyball and tennis clubs. There are also many local space for people of all ages, including a great theater and a history museum. Our roads have wide space, so it is not a problem for disabled people to travel around. I help at one of these space too. We help the space to learn about the latest technology. My grandmother sends me or sends a lot of text messages now. Now we have to use these words in these spaces. We have 5 words for 5 spaces. The first one, let's do it together. I live in a great community. There are lots of, what is it? Community projects, elderly, facilities, pavements, or sports activity. Let's find out. The sentence after that says volleyball and tennis clubs. So the only one that works is sports activities. There are also many local, what for people of all ages, including a great theater and a history museum. I'm talking about a theater and a museum. So those are buildings in the city or in a town to make it easier for people to live there. So the only word that works is facilities. So we've got local facilities. Our roads have wide, definitely, so that not a problem for disabled people to travel around. I mean, this place can take so many disabled people, like maybe blind one, maybe those who use a wheelchair, to use that part for traveling around the city. So the only word that works here is pavement, white pavements. I help at one of the space too. And by the way, we have community projects and elderly. That's the only one that works. I mean, that are left. So community projects too. We help the space. He gave you that space without giving you a noun, which makes it a little bit confusing. You can say that I give money to poor without saying the word people. You know logically that when you give that to poor, it refers to poor people. So you don't have to say that. It's the same here. You can use elderly without saying the word people. To the elderly, to the poor, because the made you in no need of adding a noun after the adjective, which is elderly. So you can say, I gave that to the rich. When you say the rich, you don't have to say the rich people. The rich are responsible for making good facilities to other people to live in the city. So you don't have to say the rich people, just the rich. All right. Sorry that we ran out of time. Till we meet again next session with the O level, Unit 3. Goodbye. See you soon.